Good morning, members. Welcome. I'd like to call this meeting to order. My name is Nathan Cooper. I'm the MLA for the outstanding constituency of Olds, Didsbury, Three Hills, and the chair of this committee. I'd like to have members introduce themselves. For the record, first I'll call upon members here in the committee room, and then I will have those joining us online introduce themselves, starting to my right with the committee clerk.
Good morning, Aaron Roth, committee clerk.
Morning, Shane Getson, MLA Lexington and Parkland.
Grant Hunter, Tabor Warner.
Chelsea Petrovic, Livingston McLeod.
Good morning, Brandon Lindsay, Leduc Beaumont.
Good morning, Terry Langley, Sergeant Arms.
Good morning, Irfan Sabir, MLA for the most diverse and vibrant constituency of Calgary, Buller-McCall.
Luann Metz, MLA for Calgary Varsity.
Dave Egan, MLA for Edmonton Northwest.
And good morning, Christina Gray, MLA for Edmonton Millwoods.
Good morning, Lindsay Tischer, Director of HR for Legislative Assembly Office.
Dave Ludwig, Corporate Services.
Trafton Koenig, Office of Parliamentary Counsel.
Shannon Dean, Clerk.
Mr. Singh.
Good morning, MLA Calgary East.
Excellent. Thank you all very much. Please note that the microphones are operated by Hansard staff. Committee proceedings are live streamed on the internet and broadcast on Alberta Assembly TV. The audio and video streams, transcript of the meeting can be accessed by the Legislative Assembly website. Those participating remotely are encouraged to turn on your camera while speaking and mute your microphone when not speaking. Members participating virtually who wish to be placed on the speakers list are asked to email or send a message in the group chat to the committee clerk, and members here in the room, please signal your indication to speak to the chair. Please ensure that all cell phones are set to off and silent for the duration of the meeting. With that said, I'd like to move to item number 2, the approval of the agenda. Are there any proposed additions or revisions to today's meeting agenda? Seeing none, I am prepared to entertain a motion. Member Getson. Are we putting it on the screen, do we usually? Probably not. All those in favor of the approval of the agenda, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say no. Joining us remotely, please say aye.
Aye.
That motion is carried and so ordered. Number 3, the approval of the meeting minutes. Are there any amendments to the minutes from our last meeting? If not, would a member of the committee, please, Member Egan, move the approval of the meeting minutes? Any discussion? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor here in the room of the approval of the minutes, please say aye. Any opposed, please say no. And joining us remotely, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, that motion is carried and so ordered. Honorable members, item number 4, respectful workplace policy. Members will know on just prior to proceeding, I do, for the record, have an official substitution for Member Dick for Member Yao, and I'll just ask him to introduce himself for the purposes of the record.
Nolan Dick, MLA for Grand Prairie.
Excellent, thank you, Member Dick. We are on item number 4, and on March 24th, 2025, I advised the Legislative Assembly that I'd be calling a meeting of this committee to discuss the matter of complaints between members, specifically as it relates to a member-to-member workplace interaction policy. This follows a number of events that have transpired in and around the Assembly, and I am of the opinion that our Assembly would be well served by discussing the possibility of a member-to-member workplace interaction policy. Honorable members will note that in the 29th Assembly, a subcommittee of this committee was struck to have a discussion. However, those discussions were never concluded. I'm of the opinion that our committee would be well served for a subcommittee to develop potential proposals or a policy discussion based upon workplace interactions as some other assemblies or House of Commons have across the country. I know that we have had some discussions prior to this meeting, and there may be some agreement for a subcommittee, but I am happy to have a discussion about that now. Is there anyone who'd like to provide some comments on the record, or perhaps move a motion for a subcommittee?
I would, Mr. Speaker, I think we've had a few conversations outside of here, as you've alluded to. I believe at this time I'm good to move a motion if everyone's amiable to that, to go through that. So if I may, I believe it was presented, and it should be on screen there as well.
Proceed. We'll get it up on the screen here before you proceed, Member Getson. And if you wouldn't mind beginning your remarks by reading the motion onto the record.
Sure. So moved by MLA Shane Getson, the Standing Committee on Member Services, establish a subcommittee to be referred to as a Respectful Workplace Policy Review Subcommittee as follows. Subcommittee shall be comprised of the Honorable Nathan Cooper, Speaker of the Chair of the Committee, as Chair of the Subcommittee. Second part is 2 members of the committee shall be nominated by the Government Caucus and 2 members of the committee nominated by the official opposition. The members, Section B, the members referred to in Clause A1 and A2 must be nominated on or before April 30th, 2025. The mandate of the subcommittee shall be to consider the matter of policy to address respectful workplace complaints between members of the Legislative Assembly. Carrying out its mandate, the subcommittee may utilize the services of employees of the Legislative Assembly. The quorum of the meeting of the subcommittee is 3 members, the minimum of 1 member from each caucus. And a member of the subcommittee may substitute for a member of the subcommittee at the meeting, provided that notice of the substitution is provided to the committee clerk before the subcommittee meeting commences.
Member Gray.
Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, just looking at this motion, I certainly just want to reflect that there have been really good conversations behind the scenes between the House teams of the Government and Official Opposition Caucus. And I think having a subcommittee, a Respectful Workplace Policy Review Subcommittee, to begin some conversations about a potential policy is a really good next step. While that subcommittee is operating, certainly the official opposition House team will continue to work with the government House team if there are any issues or any items that need to be discussed while the subcommittee is working. But I think this is a good motion. I think it's a good next step to have this important conversation, and I agree with the Speaker that our Assembly would be well served to examine this more closely.
Excellent, thank you very much. I know that on occasion, people outside of this place make the accusation that you guys never work together on anything, and now look here today. There is, I think, some widespread agreement on such policy. Is there any other questions, comments, concerns, or need for discussion? Member Sabir.
I think I do have concern with how this motion is numbered. Minor 1, 2.2, 3.2, and then 2. I'm trying to make sense how that was numbered.
Aaron, I think it's the template.
It's the template that it's presented. Yeah, I don't know that I can fix it.
Yeah, I guess
the actual motion as will appear in the notes, will appear in the minutes, are Section A, the subcommittee shall be comprised of, and then point 1, 2, 3, or I, 2 I's, 3 I's. Section B, Section C, Section D, Section E is how it will be in the minutes. If the member is satisfied with that. Okay. Excellent. I will call the question then, unless there's further debate. Honorable members, on the motion as proposed by Member Getson, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say no. Joining us remotely, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion is carried and so ordered. And if perhaps Ms. Gray and Member Getson, if either of you can pass the your nominated members of the committee through to Aaron before the 30th, I'm sure if he has failed to receive them by the 29th, he'll provide a reminder to you. Honorable members, it brings us to item number 5, amendment to the constituency services order. On the 12th of March, I sent a letter to each of the caucus whips raising the issue of purchasing tables at an event using your member services allowances. The constituency service orders does not provide a great deal of clarity in this respect, and I am suggesting an amendment that could be brought forward to this committee for its consideration. A briefing note and a draft proposed amendment to the constituency service orders was posted to the committee internal website for review by committee members on April 10th. The draft order would amend section 5.1, the constituency services order, to allow members to pay for the cost of a table at an event for the member and the member's guest once per fiscal year. In order to be eligible for payment from the MSA, certain criteria must also be met. The member must be in attendance of the event in the role as a member, as a representative of their constituency. The event must be held in Alberta. The total number of tickets must not exceed the one table of seated attendees, and the total cost of the tickets must not exceed $1,000. The draft order also requires the total cost of all tickets to an event over $100 be included in the member's quarterly expense disclosure report, if that expense is paid for or reimbursed by the member services allowance. Honorable members, as my letter of March 12th described, there is a lack of clarity in the constituency services order. We have been applying the rule as described in the proposed amendment based upon the approval of the committee. Largely, this is when members of the assembly would like to purchase a table, predominantly at nonprofit or charitable organizations. I would describe them as the address to the city or the state of the city that the mayor of Edmonton holds on occasion, where the event may not be physically located inside the constituency of the member, but very clearly it makes sense for a member to be able to attend and potentially have a table at that. So, unless there is significant discussion, I'm prepared to move forward, or is there comments, questions, concerns from either side? Ms. Gray.
Not a concern with this proposed policy, but just a question as far as how much, if any, will the public reporting on our expense disclosures need to be updated to reflect this? Like, it shows 10 events right now, I think. Will it show whether this one event has been used, like this one special circumstance in the disclosure reporting, or do we?
I will confirm for you, but from my opinion, in terms of transparency, the most important part of the reporting will be in your quarterly report that is published. So, for example, reimbursements around hotel stays, what are the other things that are mileage and other places where hosting, so as well as in like your hosting expenses that are published and posted on your quarterly reports, so too will tickets purchased over $100, if that makes sense. So I'll confirm for you about whether or not your annual table has been used, but as you know, we are transitioning in the short term to a brand new report anyway through the ERP program, and so your report is going to look significantly different in the medium term anyway. Go ahead.
Just the changes to that report, I'm just curious if this committee will have a chance to review that before it goes live, or will that
ERP?
happen? Yeah,
we'll have
what
some
the report looks like.
We'll have some discussion And on the 9th of May, is that correct? There's an information session for all members about the proposed changes and how the ERP rollout is going to look and work. And the LAO has sent an invite and a notice to members who I'm sure have already updated their calendars and are waiting with bated breath.
Yes, I knew about that meeting and was testing you, Mr. Speaker. So thank you. That makes perfect sense.
Excellent. Is there any other questions, comments, concerns? Seeing and hearing none, I am prepared to call the question. Oh, sorry. Let's get the proposed change up on the screen. Oh, as distributed, okay. Member Hunter, are you prepared to make that motion? You just distributed, so it's fine.
I could just read it as distributed?
Yep.
Okay. So MLA Grant Hunter, that the Special Standing Committee on Member Services approved the draft Constitution or Constituency Services Amendment Order 2025 number 2 as distributed.
Honorable members, any other questions, comments, concerns? Having heard the motion as proposed by the Honorable Member Hunter, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed, please say no. Joining us virtually, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion is carried and so ordered. Honorable members, that brings us to the next meeting or other business of which there is none. The next meeting will be at the call of the chair, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Member Metz.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed, please say no. In my opinion, the ayes have it, and we are adjourned.